Radio 8.
Here comes!
Hey, run that thing up.
Radio 8.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Grade 8 Wrestling Podcast. It's your host, Musa, here. I got my guy, Ty, in the building, and Mike. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Listen, man, we had a star-studded Royal Rumble event last night, man. A lot of shockers, a lot of predictable matches and winners, but all in all, a very great event. We're going to talk about the recap of the Royal Rumble matches for the men and women's, as well as the ladder match between Cody and Kevin Owens. And we're going to talk about the 2 out of 3 falls match with the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. Before we get into all the reactions, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below, hit that subscribe button. We're 5 subs away from 200 subscribers. Leave a comment down below your thoughts and ratings on the Royal Rumble last night. Now, let's get right into it. We're going to start with the men's Rumble. I think we should start off with the banger. Obviously, we got Jey Uso winning the 2025 Royal Rumble. He's now going to be main eventing Wrestlemania this year in Vegas. I'll let hear you guys' thoughts on reactions on last night's men's Royal Rumble.
Not gonna lie, bro. First half of this Rumble was amazing. You know, other than my personal favorite, Carmelo, being tossed out first.
Don't get me started.
In only like 4 or 5 minutes. Ridiculous. The spot was speed, hilarious. The Braun, the Roman tease. That's one thing this Rumble match did. It teased a lot. And that's what I was enjoying it. But as soon as we got into the 20-somethings, it just completely did a whole 180. There was eliminations I didn't understand. Braun Strowman came in for 2 minutes, eliminated Braun Breaker to get eliminated by John Cena. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Then you have Punk, Roman, and Seth. Honestly, that right there made the night. I didn't even care who won the match at that point. That spot right there, they need to do a triple threat at Mania, because I think just combine the stories into one, because even though 2 different stories, they all involve each other and it all has to do with each other. So I think that's a perfect setup for that. Honestly, I didn't like Jey winning, in my personal opinion, when you have Cena and him as the final 2. Because
Interesting. Okay.
Because in my eye, I felt like it's obvious John Cena is going to be challenging a world champion at Mania. You know? So you have Cena lose the Rumble. Pretty much we can already guarantee that technically both of them are going to be challenging for the world title. Now, does Cena get in somehow through a triple threat and he doesn't have to win Elimination Chamber? Then they can book it like that. but I think it gave away Cena winning the chamber because as soon as he lost, he already said he's gonna go into the chamber. Um, so it kind of ruined that. But I will say, for the amount of hate I've gave WWE over the years of not pushing anybody new,
They sure did it last.
they did it last night, and I got to give them props. Um, and I'm kind of smiling because we can all reminisce about past Rumbles, and there's always that one mid Carter. We feel like, yo, if they could win a Rumble match, they can do
Catapult.
something with it. They can do something with it. So I'm glad for Jay, but I think personally I would have gave it to Cena.
Mike, I'd like to hear your thoughts before I kind of add my own opinion on everything.
Well, I'm sure it's all glad they didn't have John Cena win because that's a story you can tell. I don't think you should even have him win if you want my honest opinion. I think you have whoever takes him out, like have be in the final two again, and have someone take him out. Unfortunately, I think it might be Logan Paul, and the only reason why I say unfortunately is they did the same thing to set up the they did the same thing with L.A. Knight, or no, who was it last year for the Logan Paul faced? No, 2 years. Was it 2 years ago that they had when they had Logan Paul knock AJ, or no, who knocked him out in the Elimination Chamber with the brass knuckles?
I believe it was Styles.
Well, no, that was LA Knight.
Or LA.
Yeah, that was
one of the two.
Wasn't it LA
Oh
Knight?
no, it was Randy Orton. Randy Orton that he knocked out in the chamber. That's what it was. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
So they sort of set up that. So I'm afraid they're gonna do the same thing this year, possibly, with it. But I'm glad Cena didn't win. But I'm not opposed to having Jay winning as long as they continue it the right way. Like I know they got a big stadium show coming up in Toronto at the Rogers Center, so you still want to have a big build up to that, like you had last night. But Gunther, I assume Jay's going to challenge Gunther, which if they tell it right, I think it'll be
podium that he won another match with Gunther. So.
Yeah, I think that'll be because that's a proper story to tell. As I said in the group chat about a week ago around Saturday night's main event, he deserves a much bigger stage, and that's a story they can tell to have him get that world championship out. So I'm glad they're sort of going slow with that. But I agree with you, Ty, about how the match started off well. Once you got to entry about, I believe it was 26 or 27, they already announced the name, so you knew who was coming out at the end. And so he got built up very good, but then it just sort of fell down because I'm rooting for I'm curious to see who's going to win because you're going to sort of get the direction they're going, and we get Jay for that when we're still left with who's going to face Cody. So I'm okay as long as they do this right after the fact. But I'm to be determined on. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I'm very neutral towards it right now. And I know you talked about like eliminations that didn't make you too happy. One for me was Drew McIntyre. You had him play such a pivotal role leading up to this match, and then you just have him thrown out pretty unceremoniously, just like any other elimination. And then the last thing I'm just going to touch on is I know you said the triple threat match there for Punk. Rollins, and Reigns. Yeah, I personally I don't want to see that triple threat match. I'm hoping the favor that he owes to Punk is saying, hey, get out of this. Just let me and Seth settle our differences. But for all we know, the favor could be where both of them just beat the piss out of Seth at Mania. Who knows?
Real quick, before I give my thoughts. As far as Drew goes, I heard there was a report. I don't know how true that is because you got to kill some of these dirt sheets, as we know, when we get to the women's Rumble match. But it was a report that the Drew spot was a mistake. He wasn't supposed to get out so soon, and that he was pretty upset backstage, and he ended up leaving the arena. I don't know how true that is. I don't necessarily believe it. Just wanted to put that out there for those who are wondering why that was the case. As far as the winner goes, I'm happy that he won. He was my dark horse last night. It's a new face. I think they got it right with the men's opposed to the women's. The interesting stuff I'll have takeaways was one, no Randy return. Carmelo getting out so soon, and I said it yesterday, Mike, when we was talking about it. They strapped Tiffy to the moon. They give him Braun. They basically strapping Braun to the moon. What is the holdup with Melo? Because to me, out of all three, I think Melo's probably one of the better ones on the mic since they've been on the brand together. He had his rough spots when he first got to SmackDown on the mic, but as he has improved since then, the in-ring ability, I think he's one of the better in-ring wrestlers out of the three, if not second behind Tiffy. Oh, Braun, I'm sorry. But I just feel like, what's the holdup with him? Especially him getting eliminated so soon, I figured he would have got more time and more of a showing like Penta did in the Rumble, which I love Penta starting off the Rumble with Red. I think that was a great idea, although they had some botches in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the match. But I think Melo should have had a better showing. The next thing I wanted to touch base on was Drew also getting eliminated too early. I felt like they was rushing things. I feel like they cut time in that Rumble match because so much things was just being rushed. Drew Hendry coming out was perfect. I expected that, and I wanted him to stay in the match long because I wanted to see him get a face off with John Cena because he'd been asking to call out why not him go against John Cena in the program before he retires. I think that would be a great one-off match, whether you have it on WWE or TNA, however you want to do it. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. It shocked me to see Roman come out at 16. I didn't think he was going to come out that early, but I think it was perfect considering how the match rolled out. I wish they would have gave another spot where they kind of had Roman circled, in the middle with everyone that he went through and during his reign around him and kind of, like beat up on him like how they do with the Nia Jackson or Braun Strowmans of the world. Fatu, Jacob, I thought he would have lasted a little longer, to be honest. I thought they would have kind of marinated that Braun and him rivalry a little bit more in that match and then let them get eliminated. That was kind of interesting. Finn Balor, I legit forgot he was in the match. When his theme song hit, I was like, who the hell is this? I was trying to think it was a surprise entrance. Then he came out, I was like, see, I don't even, like, that's how bad they've been booking Finn. I don't even know who Finn is now. Like, that's pisses me off so much. So that was one of the things. The ending of the match was a lot better than the women's. But I will say, to Ty's point, I feel like both matches were swapped. Like the women's match was slow in the beginning, but it picked up at the end, despite some of the questionable eliminations. And then the men's was great in the beginning of the start and kind of died down towards the back end. Once I seen Roman get eliminated, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, this is interesting. They're going a different route. I love this. The moment we got Logan, Cena, and Jay as the final three, I knew damn well Logan wasn't going to win. And then I thought to myself, Cena's the type to put somebody over, especially in this point in his career. That's when I was like, oh, wow, Jay's actually going to win this. And I love how they did the ending. The ending was perfect. Cena's, if you want to make a legit star, Cena sold it by his reaction, how he got eliminated. Like, that was the perfect reaction. And seeing Jay celebrate with his son and everything was beautiful. But I honestly would love to see him go against Cody, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to have him build up that heavyweight title on the Raw brand, especially him being the biggest face in the company right now outside of Cody. I see that's the direction they will go. But all in all, I think it was a great match. Any final other thoughts or moments of this match?
One thing I'm really happy about the J1, all the cancel culture geeks that tried to cancel him last week or 2 weeks ago in Jada Park, and not saying that I agree with what they said, but just makes you once again show that you guys don't have a voice. So good luck, keep trying.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. Jay, yeet. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna leave it at that. So it still don't need to be explained, but I don't blame you, Jay. I don't. But yeet. Another funny part Ty mentioned was the speed spot. I remember we was watching it live, and Ty and Clips was in the chat like, yo, what the hell is going on with it? Like, why? What's this BS? I'm like, now give it time. We had our Pete Rose moments back in the day, and I'm sorry, the way Braun speared that man, like, oh, that was the moment of the night. Like that, and then how Otis just tossed him over the ring, and then Speed having that huge gash on his leg from the table was like it was all in all was great entertainment. But that was my biggest takeaway from that match overall. I think we can move right along if anyone, unless you guys have any other final thoughts on the men's match.
No. Nothing.
Ty, you got something?
Nah.
I think we're gonna pause right there for the moment. I have a list here from the Ranker. They have the list of all the best Royal Rumbles of all time. They don't have this year's Rumble for obvious reasons. So I'm gonna share my screen and you guys are gonna get our reactions to the Ranker's list of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. Let me zoom in. All right, so at 44, they got the 2019 Rumble as one of the worst Rumbles of all time. Okay. I'll bear with you guys. I'll bear with it for now. 43, they got the 2021 Rumble. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think 28 or no, never mind. I got the years confused.
The 2019 Women's Rumble's at 42. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? And I'm up.
Those are dark days of Monday Night Raw. Like it's gonna be up there.
Yeah.
Who won the 2019 women's?
That's why I was about to pull up on an extra tab so we can.
Was Charlotte or was she 2020?
2019.
Charlotte's 2020.
2019 was Becky Lynch.
Becky.
Yeah, Becky won it. So real quick, I'm just gonna scroll back down to the 44th one, which was the 2019 Rumble. For those who don't know, the 2019 Rumble, the men's 2019 Rumble, Seth Rollins won it that year, and then 2021 men's Rumble was Edge. I don't know if I agree with Edge's Rumble being at 43, and then 2019 women's was Becky. We're gonna move right along though. The next one on the list is the women's 2023 Rumble. I don't know about
Rhea won it.
This is when Rhea won. Yeah, this was a really good Rumble in my opinion, especially with how her and Liv finished the match. I don't know if I agree with 41, but we're gonna see because there's some obvious ones I'm waiting for that still hasn't been named, and it's already too high on the list.
I think 2023 was better than this year's Women's Rumble.
I can agree from a match standpoint, absolutely.
Yeah. Some of the returns were better this year, but match-wise.
Number 40, the 2015 Royal Rumble in Philadelphia when Reigns won it.
That was terrible.
They were booing because they were pissed.
This was bad. This was bad. I can't lie. I don't know. I'm still waiting for an obvious one to pop up though. Like, what is going on with this? 1999 at 39. I don't know about this one either. Oh man! For those who don't know, the 1999 Rumble was when Vince McMahon won it. Yeah, I'll say this one was better than the 2015 Rumble. I'll say that for sure. Any other thoughts? Is this ranked too low or high?
Nah, that's perfect.
The 2011, no, this is too high. The 2011 Rumble was not better than the 2015 Rumble. I can't. No. Like the 40-man Rumble was better than the 2015. I don't. People got to go back and watch that 40-man Rumble. It was bad. Like it was bad. What y'all think?
Yeah, I don't know how we're doing the 2023 women's down there and this up here.
Like, I just don't get it. I don't. I agree with you, Mike. Like this is getting bad. Like who's voting for these? No. At 37, the Women's Royal Rumble from last year. No. No, like that's one of the best.
I didn't think last year's was too great, to be honest with you. We all knew who was going to win. Just like this year.
It wasn't a bad Rumble though. Okay.
For the women's match,
I think it should be a little higher, but because there's still a couple Rumbles I have yet to see that you're telling me is better than this one, and some of them's in the 90s. So I'm waiting to see one of the key 90 Rumbles that has yet to be announced. This has to be recency bias. This has to be recency bias. This should not be higher than 2024. This is when Ronda Rousey won the Rumble. What are we doing? Like, no, bro, no.
They're just naming. They're just naming Rumbles.
You're not about to sit here and argue and tell me Ronda Rousey winning the Rumble and that match itself was better than Bayley's last year. Like, I'm just no. There's no way. No. Hell no. Like, what is this?
We got a better chance of going to the top 15 than talking to our honorable mention.
And then the 2023 Women's Rumble was not better than this? Okay.
Where's the 2023 Men's Rumble? I think that one sucked. Like,
With
just
Cody?
the net. Yeah.
And
Everyone knew he was going to win. That's the thing. It's so predictable.
But that final two with Gunther and Cody, when they went at it for like the last 10, 15 minutes, that was like
that was good. Yeah.
But
I was feeling the same thing as 2015. I was pissed that he won. See, again, same thing last year. I was pissed that he won. I didn't want to see him against Roman again, but luckily The Rock came in and saved the storyline.
I think that's a top 20 Rumble. Or at least 20 in the top 25. But all right, let's see what's at 35 because this is getting nasty. When Bianca Belair won the Rumble, that all right, I'll be satisfied. I'm okay with this for now. For now, I think it should be a little higher, but I'm okay with this for now. What about y'all? This is when Bianca won it, and she ended up going against Sasha at Mania.
Obviously, some of the other ones below it should be above, but for right now, it's okay to see it. We've already messed up the other ones.
Yo, where is these? Yo, there's like 3 Rumbles in the 90s that should not be this high. Like,
are we sure this isn't Vince's list?
Yo, this got to be 20. Okay, all right. Thank you. This is a little too high for me, but thank you. 95 Rumble is a little too high, but it was not one of the best Rumbles. Because if you watch that, this is the right. If I'm not mistaken, this is when British and Shawn went 1 and 2. They literally carried that Rumble, like carried it. Go back for those who don't remember. Go back and just look at the names. That's all I'm gonna say. Just look at the names, and then go watch the match. Like, thank you. They got one of the 90s Rumbles up here because it took too damn long. Like, I just don't see how this was at 34. This is not better than 2023 Women's Rumble. It's not better than the men's 2023 Rumble. I don't know. What y'all think?
I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the old ones I haven't gone back and watched, so I don't really have much on it.
Nah, 95. Nah, you like you said, Musa. They carried that. So this one, yeah, I guess it's fine. Obviously, it should be lower, but I don't know what's going on with this list.
Ty's waiting for a particular Rumble to be shown too. I know which one you're looking for. Let's see what's at 33. 2014 Rumble when Batista came back. I felt bad.
That should be lower, but yeah.
I felt bad for Batista. I'm not gonna lie that year because nobody wanted to see him come back. Nobody cared about Batista when he came back, and I'm like, damn, like that was a bad reaction.
Too predictable, bro.
It was predictable, but damn, like Batista didn't deserve to go out like that. My boy went out like Paul Pierce, like he deserved to go out like Kobe and overtime in his final dance. Like that was bad. That was bad, man. Shout out to Batista, man. He's one of my favorites.
People would love to see him back now.
Nah, it's clipped at this point.
It's better than Goldberg coming back, if you ask a lot of people.
Oh, no, for sure. I'd rather see Batista than Goldberg. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I see Batista coming back, I want him in the Hall of Fame, which I think this year will be perfect considering Triple H is inducted too. So this will be a perfect time for him to get inducted to the Hall of Fame. 2016, Jesus Christ. Ty, I'm gonna let you take it away because I'm not. I said enough. No. When the Authority won the Rumble for the belt.
Yeah, this should be lower, but we already see how they just ranked all the most recent ones lower, so all the women's ones lower. So, but this was trash. I mean,
you know what they was doing, Ty. They put that young Triple H.
I mean, I guess for the shock, because if you go back, to be honest, when Triple H throws out Roman, it's him and Dean. So you feel me? I feel like that. I don't know. That was a shock point.
Yeah, people wanted Dean to win that match. They were happy as hell to see Roman get tossed off the match, but whoever made this list, they thought they was slick putting Triple H when he was in his prime during picture, not putting that current day picture.
Facts.
What the hell was going on? Like Triple H was not looking like this in 2016. I promise you. Like this match is way too high. All right, let's see what's at 31. Bro.
Yeah, this should be lower, but
I just don't. This is the second. This is okay. So there's one more 90s Rumble I'm waiting for that hasn't been shown, and the fact that this is at 31, I'm just gonna move on. I'm not gonna waste time on talking about Hogan. At 30.
Were we disappointed not to see him last night, and we weren't going to see CM Punk throw him out of the ring?
Yo, Mike.
I'm just kidding. He couldn't even probably run down the ramp to get to the ring at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he probably struggled to rip the shirt, let alone get down half the ramp.
Looked like his pants were falling down after the Raw on Netflix when he couldn't rip the shirt the whole way.
Man, they got Brock Lesnar's 2022 Rumble at 30. This is too high. Honestly, this is kind of like what we're going to talk about in a moment with the Women's Rumble last night. The wrong person won this 2022 Rumble. Brock did not need this win at all. The match itself wasn't bad, though, if I'm being honest, but the winner was just not what was needed.
That's what made 2020 so great, because he got thrown out at the end.
Literally. I can't wait to see what 2020 is ranked, honestly. I think that might be in the top 10, but we'll see. 2024's Men's Rumble at 29. Mike, I'm going to let you take away because your favorite guy won that Rumble, and Cody Rhodes going back to back.
I think they've done much better with him now. When he first came over from AEW the first few years, I had the same reaction to the Road to keep shoving him down our throats like total just super baby face gimmick. And now we're starting to get away from that finally, but not a fan of this one because we didn't know what was going to happen per se. There was unpredictability. It wasn't like the year before, but it's just when I see him win, I had fears, but thank God The Rock came along and actually turned a storyline that I didn't want to see into probably one of the greatest ones in recent memory.
Ty, you think this is too low?
I think it's fine right there, honestly.
Let's see what's at 28. The men's 2023. Oh, so they got Cody back to back. Oh, I think this was actually a lot better. I said it earlier. Him and Gunther in the final two. I think they cooked. Like that's what kind of legitimized Gunther. Like people kind of noticing with his IC title run, but when they see him performed the way he did against Cody in that final two in the 2023 Rumble, they was like, all right, he's ready. It's time to give Gunther his respect. So I think this should be a little higher, if I'm being honest. But I mean, it's definitely better than a particular 1990s Rumble that has yet to be shown. But I'm just gonna be quiet. Let's move on.
The only thing for that one that didn't do it for me is because you could have just like did a surprise return there, and you were building him up for weeks, showing the video package. Everyone knew he was coming back. He was advertised. Everyone knew he was going to win. You could have made that match way better, and then how you had the chair shot heard around the world at the end. You could have made that one hell of a Rumble with his surprise return, surprise win, and that, and they just ruined it. I thought just announced him early.
I agree. All right, let's see. What's next? What's at 27? The Women's 2020 Rumble. Ooh. Yeah, I guess. Charlotte won it. She's only 2-time Women's Rumble winner now. The 2020 Women's Rumble match was not bad. So I'm okay with this spot for this match. What y'all think?
Sort of similar like Brock winning.
Yeah.
26 is 2013 Rumble when Cena won. Okay, I'm not mad at this. This is not.
Yeah.
The second Rumble win was okay. We knew what this was for, so I'm not mad at this at all. As long as the first one's where it needs to be, I'm good with this one being at 26.
Facts.
Sheamus 2012. You know, I think this is actually one of the underrated Rumbles.
It is.
Yeah,
It is
liked
very underrated.
Like this Rumble is a really good Rumble. And they had shock value because no one thought Sheamus was gonna win. I sure as hell didn't think Sheamus was gonna win. I think this is ranked a little too low. If I'm being honest. Moving on, we're gonna go to 24. Oh Lord!
I was gonna say, didn't he just pop up earlier? Same picture.
Same picture. When Sean, this okay. If I'm being honest, this one was a lot better than 95. But oh man! All right, I'm just gonna say it. The 1990 Royal Rumble should not be this high. You all can take a guess who won that Rumble. It's Mike's favorite guy.
Whoa. Hold on. That's not my favorite guy. He gives me a lot of ammo for jokes, but definitely not my favorite guy.
That's your brother right there, Mike.
Yeah, my brother.
That 1990 Rumble should not be above. It wasn't like bad match wise, but overall compared to these other ones, no, shouldn't be top. The first Royal Rumble, where Hacksaw won it in 88. This is a decent spot for it, considering it's being the first. If you go back and watch the match, it wasn't bad. It wasn't the best either, but for what it's worth being an inaugural Rumble, it served its purpose. Mike, you got any thoughts on this?
No.
I seen his face. I had to ask. When Big John I guess they're just paying homage at this point. Because I don't see how these are cracking almost the top 20. I don't. I think this is probably going off a name value because you see in the picture you had Andre the Giant and Big John Studd in the match. But I guess. Any thoughts on this one? All right, 21. The 2017 Rumble where Orton won it. I'm not mad at this spot, but that means the 1990 Rumble is going to crack top 20, and this is going to just irk my soul.
It might be number one.
Oh Lord, no,
I mean, yeah, so who knows?
no, I hope not, because this is not the best Rumble ever. I'm saying this now. If the 2001 Royal Rumble is not top 5, we're gonna have a problem. That's all I'm gonna say.
Which year did you say?
The 2001,
2000.
when Austin won it. Was that in New Orleans? In 01? I think it was in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. But that was one of the best Rumbles ever. But it has to at least be top 5. 1990 is going to crack top 20. This is disgusting. The 2018 Rumble. The 2018 Rumble was a great Rumble that got killed when it got to Mania. Because they had the perfect winners. The match wasn't bad. They just didn't finish it off at Mania. What you guys think about the 2018 being at the 20th spot?
I'm not opposed to it, but we could reshuffle a few of these for sure.
Nah, that's fine right there. I think it's the best women's Royal Rumble, if I'm honest. So
19, we have the 2010 Rumble. I think this is too low. I think
should
be at least a top 15 Rumble.
I agree.
The 2010 Rumble is really,
really 2010 should be higher. Yeah, 15. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh God.
There it is, 1990. Yeah, the real America.
Bro, like what? This is not a top 20 Rumble. It's not.
Damn, 1990 over 2010 is crazy.
Like, it's not better than the 2018 Women's Rumble. It's not better than the 2023 Men's Rumble. Like, oh my God, this is like, it's just too high. Like, I'm not gonna waste much breath. I'm gonna save my last next Rumble. Yeah, I'm just gonna save it for the last match. Okay, finally a Rumble in the 90s that I can get behind. The one that where me and Mike forgot about yesterday when we did the trivia. The 93 Rumble.
We got stumped yesterday.
This was a good Rumble. Yokozuna was just dominant in this Rumble when he came out. But I'm not mad at this being 17. That means the other Rumble that was a tie is going to be top 15, and I'm not mad because I had to go back and rewatch it last night. Because I was so mad, Mike, that we didn't get those last 3. I mean, the last 2 with the 93 and then the 94. I'm just like, okay, I go back and rewatch the 94 Rumble. It was a really good Rumble. It was actually really good for what it was for that era. 2018 Men's Rumble. I'm not mad at this being in the top 16, top 20 because it was really good. Him and Roman being the final 2 with Shinsuke, they cooked. Vince burnt down the kitchen at Mania because Shinsuke should have won at Mania. Him and Asuka had no business losing that Mania. All right, top 15. Thank you. I think this is a little too low, but the 2005 Rumble. For those who don't know, this had one of the biggest botches in recent Rumble memory. Was Cena and Batista eliminating each other at the same time, but that actually made the Rumble even better.
Yeah, greatest moment.
And then
greatest moment.
You can't forget old Vinny tearing his quads, getting into the ring. It can't get up.
That alone makes it a top 10.
Like
on my list. So,
and I always thought as a kid watching this back when Cena got eliminated, I thought he broke his leg or something. The way his leg bent, like it was just nasty.
Yo, I used to think the same.
Like I was like, that's a nasty landing. But this was a really great Rumble. I don't know how it's top 15. I can't think of 14 better Rumbles than the 2005 Rumble. There it is.
Yep.
The 94 Rumble.
This is low. Top 10 Rumble.
Yeah.
This is a top 10 Rumble.
This was a really good, and it was a very technical Rumble, which is why I like it so much. Which is only fitting because you have Brett being a co-winner with Lex Luger. But I'm not mad at this. This was probably the best Rumble they had in the '90s, if I'm being honest. Outside of one that hasn't been named, with a tear in my eye, if you know, you know. I think that those two Rumbles were the best Rumbles in the '90s by far. Which should be coming up next if I think. No, okay, so they have it higher. 2006 Royal Rumble at 13.
Nah, they're bugging.
I don't know about this.
They bugging.
I think this is right around the realms of the 2004 Rumble with Benoit. I'm gonna be honest. Is 06 better than 94? Because I don't know. That's a tough one. 06 is really good though, but
nah, I got 94 over, but these both are top 10 Rumbles in my eyes. So I want to see what's higher because I'm starting to question this list, man.
Took you long enough. The 2000 no. I don't have a problem being in the top 15, but 2000's Rumble is not better than the 06 and 94 Rumble.
Exactly.
It's not. Now the pay-per-view itself was really good.
Yeah, it was a good.
Like you had The Rock winning the Rumble. Obviously, I think this was when you had the Highway to Hell with Taker and Austin, and then I think you had the Cactus Jack and Triple H match. I believe was at this one. So for all it's worth, as a card, it was good. But the 2000 Rumble, I don't think was better than 06 and 94. Here it is. Here's one of my favorite Rumbles. I think this is top 10. The 2009 Rumble. I don't know how this is at 11, though. You can't. I don't know if you can convince me this 10 other Rumbles better than the 09 Rumble. I don't know. What y'all think? Is this a perfect spot for 09's Rumble, or is it a little too low?
I put it slightly in the top 10, probably around like 8 or 9.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. 2003 Royal Rumble cracks the top 10. I'm trying to think because there's a Rumble before this one that is in the top 10, and I'm trying to think is that better than 03's. Obviously, this is the year Brock won it. But I'm trying to think. Was this year's Rumble better than 2002's Rumble? With Perfect, Angle, Triple H came back. Yeah, I think 03 could slightly be better than 02's. Because wasn't this the Rumble with Maven and Taker at that moment? I think this was the one.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. All right. I'm not mad at this. I don't think it's better than 06 though, or 09. But I can get with this at least for now. All right, number 9. We're in the top 10, fellas. The 97 Rumble. This was a good Rumble. I don't think it's better than 94, though. But this was a very damn good Rumble. Any thoughts? All right, we're going to move right through this. See, this is where they're losing me. 08 is at 8? Oh, no. When Cena came back from that torn pec at the Garden, him, Triple H had that moment. Umago's in the match. I don't know about this one. And I think Batista's in the... Yeah, this might be top 5 for me. At least 6.
I'd agree top 5.
Ty, what you think? Top 5?
Nah, this is definitely top 5.
The 98 Rumble is not better than 08's. 98 was really good, though. But I would swap them.
Obviously, this is a Steve Austin bias.
I would swap them. Because I think Austin, all the wins that Austin had in his rumbles were really good rumbles. I just don't think they're better than some of the Ruthless Aggression rumbles. But this is probably his second better rumble compared to the 3. Number 6 got to be 02 because 02 cannot be a top 5 rumble. Thank you. They got something right. Because I was about to say, there's no way 02 was going to be top 5. And it was a good rumble. But I think everyone knew Triple H. Well, we was kids back then, but going back at it now, looking at the build-up, it was pretty clear Triple H was winning this rumble. Honestly, this is kind of how Charlotte was last night, if we be honest. Coming back from injury, you kind of knew who was going to get this rumble.
You do that a lot.
So, yeah, 08 too. Although 08 was kind of kept under wraps because no one thinks, especially at that time, Cena was coming back that fast, given how serious that torn pec was. All right, number 5. Top 5, fellas. Yup. Thank you. We already know we can't. We know the situation. We not speak on it.
This is
From a
top.
wrestling standpoint, yes.
This is top 3.
Yes, I would, especially how he eliminated Big Show. Was like, yeah, nah. This is by far one of my favorite rumbles. Obviously, we won't speak too much about the person, but as far as the match goes, yes, this is one of the top 3, if not 5, Royal Rumbles they ever had, and I think he had one of the best WrestleMania matches ever. Especially when you think about it as a triple threat match, but definitely not mad at this being at 5. Wait, no, I am because there's a match. Is a 90s Rumble we haven't seen yet. Oh no, this is wrong. This is top 2. I'm not gonna lie to you. This 07 Rumble was top 2. We got a comment. Shout out to Jordan Kirby. Women's match was so boring. Yes, it was. We're actually about to get right into that women's rumble as soon as we finish this list right now. We agree. The women's match was a bit boring to start off the show. But what y'all think? 2007 Rumble at 4? I don't know about this.
I was gonna say it's still not as off as some of the other ones is.
It's not, but that final 6 to the final, like how Shawn and Taker, I was happy watching this Rumble because Taker was always, I'm like, yo, why hasn't Taker won a Rumble yet? And the way he was able to do it, man. Then you had Rated RKO. I think this is arguably a top 2 Rumble all time. Well, let's move right along. We got the final 3. That means the 1991 Rumble is a final 3 Rumble, and I don't agree with that at all. See, 92, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I gave a hint to it earlier with a tear in my eye when Flair gave that beautiful promo after the match with the heavyweight, with the championship. If this was a great Rumble, it's not better than 07 or 04. I don't think it's better than 08, if I'm being honest, but I guess I say don't matter. All right, we're in the top 2. I'll let y'all take it away. I'm not wasting my breath on this.
I just told you this list is Steve Austin bias, bro.
I'm not.
Steve Austin bias.
No, I'm not mad it's in the top 2. I think it's 1. Outside of let me rephrase that. I can make an argument it's the best Rumble. I could be a little biased to that. But because I think you could argue 07 was better, and I wouldn't even be mad at that, or 04. But to have that, I know it's at 1 now, though, and I don't agree with this being number 1. Y'all, all right, what y'all think is number 1? Because based on what we went through, this one Rumble we obviously haven't talked about. And it's current, it's real recent. And I don't agree with it being number 1. So I'm just gonna do, without further ado, I'm just gonna show it. Because I was taking mental notes. Y'all are telling me the 2020 Rumble is the best Royal Rumble? I don't agree with this at all.
It's top
Oh.
5, but
This is when Drew won the
Yeah.
Rumble. I think they're taking into account the pandemic situation. Even this was right before the pandemic hit. I think they.
Nah, it's a good Rumble, but nah.
I don't think it's the best Rumble.
Nah.
For those watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below what you think is the best Royal Rumble ever. Shout out to the Ranker for using your website and using the list that you guys had that was voted. This is also obviously not accounting last night's Royal Rumble, but I don't agree. 2020 being the best Rumble. My top 3 would be 01, 07, and I'd probably say 04. And then the round off the 5 would probably be 08 and 06, maybe. But I'm really looking at that 94 Rumble in the top 5. But those would be, if I had to like reorder my top 5, those would be the 5 I'll pick. What's your final thoughts on this before we move back on to the Women's Rumble match?
I don't get anything.
All right, we're going to move right along. All right. We're going to get into the Women's Rumble match. Obviously, we had Charlotte winning the Rumble. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts first on just the match itself and if they got the decision correct.
They did not get honestly, are we surprised?
No,
Are we
definitely not.
surprised?
No.
We all feared it, but we knew it was going to
I
happen.
think most of us knew Charlotte was winning this Rumble.
My
Especially-
problem.
Yep, go ahead, Ty.
So this kind of goes back to my point why I didn't want Jay to win at that point, because if you already gave the predictable winner of Charlotte, might as well do the same. Because now looking back, that Jay won. I'm sitting there, and I had to rewatch earlier today, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, damn, this would have been a perfect time to give it to Roxanne. And they literally just missed that opportunity.
I said that yesterday. We got some comments. Shout out to Sean. Hi, how are you doing? I see you play a game while asking a long time. And then Sean also says, how do you, my best friend? I see a big game, a long time. Thank you for the comment, Sean. We appreciate the comments. To Ty's point, yeah, I agree. I think I had Roxanne having a good showing last night, but I didn't think she was gonna win because I knew she had the program with Bailey. I would love to see her win though, especially when she was the final 2. But you could continue, Ty.
Yeah, it was points I didn't like, or I would say my takeaways. They low-key fumbled Alexa Bliss's return. She got the biggest pop, got in the match, sat there, did nothing, got eliminated.
I would 1,000% agree.
I'm not mad she got eliminated by Liv, because I think that's a cool, match to have. A few to have, but they did nothing with her return. And I talked about this in our private chat. No Jade Cargill. Like,
They fumbled that storyline. I think they're fumbling that bad. If they had a lot of time to kind of pick it back up, but they're fumbling it so bad right now.
I'm
I'm to
glad
the
she
point-
didn't come back in the Rumble, to be honest with you.
it would have been a perfect time, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're going to have to either turn both of them heel or have them split up while they still got the tag belts on them.
I mean, it would have been to Ty's. I'm gonna let Ty finish before we kind of touch base on that.
Now you could slow burn it, because you can have one mistake accidentally eliminate the other. You feel me? So it's not a complete turn, but you feel me? You could build into it. But no Jade, no Becky.
No AJ Lee.
Well, we
I
knew
know.
we knew AJ wasn't coming back. But honestly, like Mike said earlier, it was pretty much similar to a Brock Lesnar Royal Rumble win. She came in. She took the longest to get to the ring. I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Oh, you're
pyro and
winning."
everything.
I'm like, "You're winning." She got in, bro. I swear she was not selling for nobody in the ring
At all.
she just got in, eliminated everybody. And one other point, I hate that spot with the whole Nia Jax eliminated everybody. That completely took me out of the whole match itself. It was fine. It was an average match up until that point. And I don't understand having Nia Jax do a lot in the Rumble, especially this year. Like she literally held the belt a couple weeks ago. You feel me? So like, she shouldn't be there eliminating everybody. You feel me? That would have been a perfect point for somebody, a young person, to even take out Jax. But you pretty much had Jax take out the whole field, then Charlotte pretty much winning. We already knew who's winning the final three, so.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been mad to see Nia Jax win it, to be honest. I wouldn't have been mad. That at least would have shown me they're pushing her the way they was pushing Liv all last year. I'll agree with you, Ty. That spot with Nia just eliminating everybody, I feel like that was just rushed. I feel like they was just cutting their time short because I know they've been kind of carrying Bianca like a mid-card star when she's clearly not. She deserves to get eliminated a little bit more respectable than that. I disagree with you though, Mike. I think this would have been a great time to bring Jade back, especially based on how the match was going out. So hear me out, right? When Jordynne Grace came in, which I believe she should have won the Rumble. I said it yesterday. I think it would be perfect to promote a star. Why not establish another young talent like now with Jordynne Grace? But that moment when Jordan had Naomi had that little moment, and Bianca was kind of like, "Yo, what the hell is this going on?"
Oh, you mean Naomi?
Yeah, when Naomi and Jordan had the moment in the ring, and Bianca stepped in, like, "Yo, what the hell's going on?" That would have been the perfect time to have Jade come out and have the music hit. The pop you would have heard would have been almost as equal to what we got with Alexa, I believe. I think that would have been the perfect time to do it. I get slow cooking this program, but goddamn, you starting to burn the food. Like at some point, you got to pick up the temperature. Like it's time, and it makes me wonder, like, is there something that we don't know that's going on behind the scenes with Jade?
Does Jordynne Grace take her out though?
And that's what I'm trying to figure out. That could be another angle they could go with the program. But I'm trying to wonder because she's been rumored to be at the Performance Center these last couple of weeks working out. So I'm trying to figure out, is there something deeper than the program that's going on behind? So are they not ready to pull the plug on this program? What are they stalling for, or waiting for? Is it going to be post-Mania? Are they going to just try to build Liv and Raquel versus Bianca and Naomi for the belts? So it left me questioning a lot of things, but I agree with Todd. I think this could have been the perfect time to pull that plug too. So I'll let you go away, Mike, and give your thoughts on the Rumble.
Yeah, I don't got too much. I agree with the nice spot, not needed, but I would have rather had her win than Charlotte. Like you could have done the rematch with Tiffany for the belt at Mania because you've been building that story up already, and with Charlotte, it's sort of now just made. It's lazy booking because you could have had her come back, lose the Rumble, and have her still win the Chamber and challenge Tiffany Stratton. Obviously, at that point, you wouldn't have Nia win. You'd have someone else win, but easy way to drag the storyline out a little bit more. And they seem to do that with every other storyline other than this one. So that's why it just confuses me. If you do it with the other ones, why not do it with this one too, just to give it a better Rumble match? Because I thought it was a good match. And just like the men's match, up until the end, when we start getting to it, it's like, oh man, now I'm not rooting for people to win because I want them to win. I'm rooting for people to win because I don't want the other person to win because we know how the booking's going to be from here on out. Nothing, not to the talents, but just because we know that they're taking the short way out on the booking. But we'll see what happens. My guess is Roxanne Perez will probably be called up after Stand and Deliver. I won't think they would have been having the triple threat with Bailey and what's the name?
From NXT.
Yeah,
Roxanne and
now
Julia?
the Japanese Julia.
Julia?
Yeah, they wouldn't be having the triple threat with them if she was going to come on the main roster, because they do that Bailey Roxanne match at Mania. I can't see them putting it on Vengeance Day at Mania. So I'm curious to see when she gets the call up.
Yeah. Some key takeaways. Thank the Lord that Lyra Valkyria's wardrobe malfunction wasn't a bigger issue than what it was when she came out. So we're glad for that. Another thing, shout out to NXT. NXT had a great showing in this Rumble. Lash Legend. What are y'all waiting for with her? Like, you could tell that story easy. And they love telling old stories. You can have them become the tag champs. I don't know what you're waiting for. Her and Jakara Jackson could be the tag champs. You can break them up at some point and have the old Shawn and Kevin Nash scenario if you want. There's so many angles you can do with that. But I love this, what I've seen from Lash Legend. Jada Parker, my girl Jada. All that, just like you said earlier with Jay, all them naysayers, man. I loved that Jada had a decent showing in the match. You can tell she was excited, a little nervous and stuff, but I think it was a good showing for her. Get more eyes on her. I think her main roster call-up is in the near future. I'm seeing SummerSlam, post-SummerSlam, around that, depending on where the trajectory of OTM goes, as far as the tag team goes. Stephanie Valkyrie, dominant. Like, I love everything about her character, how she presents the character, how she's being presented to the audience. I love what she's doing. And then Julia, I think they're booking Julia like how they booked EO. Just a little bit more serious, because Julia is not as the high flyer as EO is. And I hope they get it right with her as what they lacked with Asuka when she got moved up. So I love what I've seen from her as well. I love that Nikki Bella came back, but for her being at 30 was just like, it was pointless to come out at 30. Honestly, if that was the case, you should have just had Charlotte come out at 30 at this point. Or hell, just save it for Alexa Bliss. Alexa was a great. I was not expecting Alexa to come back. I'm happy that she came back. I wasn't surprised that she didn't really give a lot of offense once we got later into the match, because I'm pretty sure it was long-winded. Having missing that much time away, having a family now and things like that. I can see she's gonna need more time to get her wrestling shape back. It was a nice touch that she did with the Fiend Forever Jackie. I love that. All in all, I think this was a good Rumble match for the women. The ending is what kind of lost me. Just how everything was booked at the end was just not good. But the MVP of that match was Roxanne Perez, by far. The MVP of that match. Shout out to Mike and Ty's favorite wrestler in that match. They didn't talk about her, so I'm gonna do the honor for them. B-Fab was a great addition to the Rumble match.
I was gonna say, she's been getting a lot of time though recently, ever since the U.S. title tournament.
I love that. It's a slow watch, if I'm being honest. It's a tough watch at times. But I at least that giving her the opportunity to get better and showing her. I wouldn't be mad if she has a small program on NXT just to kind of get more TV time and get more in-ring work. But I love what they're doing with her, and now that they paired with her and Michin, it was nice. I want to see Piper Niven get a bigger program at some point, because she can go in the ring. And she's not bad on the mic. Like, Piper can do something. I wouldn't mind seeing her and Chelsea get a good program. Chelsea can do no wrong in my eyes. She can do no wrong. Like, there's nothing she can't do well in a program, in my opinion. And I just hope they kind of continue to build up those mid-card titles on both brands. So that's my take on the Women's Rumble match.
They might be having Piper turn on Chelsea too after last night.
I'm not mad at that. Or have Chelsea be the one to turn, because
That could happen too.
I can see Chelsea being a better. Chelsea is a better heel, in my opinion, than a face, because how obnoxious a character can be. Piper is not bad as a heel, but I can see her being a lovable face. So I think that could work for sure. and I'm excited to see where they go with this after this Women's Rumble. I honestly, and I ask you guys' opinion, who you guys see Charlotte going against? Because I thought it's going to be Tiffany, kind of the old versus the new, so to speak. But I wouldn't be surprised they run it back with Rhea and have that Austin Rock 3.0.
Oh, I hope not. Please.
So that's why I'm like, I'm on the fence. Like, it was predictable for her to win the Rumble, but now it could be a little bit unpredictable as far as who she's going to face at Mania. And the second part of that question is, do y'all think she gets a main event at Mania because it's Charlotte?
Probably, but I don't know. I definitely don't want to see her face Rhea again.
Because hear me out. It's 2-night Mania, obviously. You're going to probably give Jay a main event match, and then his moniker is main event Jey Uso. I would like to think he would main event night one against either Cody or Gunther. So let's say he main events against Gunther. Roman's probably going to get one of those main event spots depending on what program angle they go with. That means Cody's not going to be in the main event unless he does, and then you put the Charlotte in one of these main event slots. So that's what I'm saying. They got a lot to figure out from now in April. So I would love to hear you guys' predictions on who Charlotte is going to choose between Tiffy or Rhea.
I mean, I think it depends on if Charlotte's automatically winning. Because if she's winning, it makes more sense to do Rhea, because Rhea can lose the title. Rhea doesn't need the title. We already seen it before. So if Charlotte's automatically winning, it's better Rhea have the whole story, longtime rivals, whatever they want to tell with that. Because my worst fear is they do the Tiffany match and Charlotte goes over.
I agree.
so I think I'd rather see her go after Rhea, because I can sit there and be like, okay, Charlotte's gonna win. But as far as main eventing, I don't think they're gonna main event. I don't even know if Jey Uso might main event, because we don't know. Because if he chooses Gunther, you think him versus Gunther is main eventing?
That's a main event in my eyes.
I think they can make it that a main event worthy match. I think they can build it.
They can, but usually
they won't.
Yeah, they won't. So they like to do matchups that can already sell itself. So that's why I think they should do Cody, because if you're gonna give Jay a main event, which I think you should, because like you said, main event Jey Uso. I mean, I think he should go after Cody, because Cody versus Jey Uso would make sense.
So you have two of your biggest faces go one-on-one in the main event of Mania.
But
is that going to be the shift where Cody turns heel?
One of them needs to.
I think there's layers to that, because this is still the bloodline versus Cody.
And now, and if who's to say Jay beats Cody, Roman wants that belt back,
and the whole Sammy standing there between KO and Cody. Oh, maybe he doesn't help KO, but would he help Jay?
Who's to say that Jay doesn't feel like he's the tribal chief now?
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things they could go. I hope they don't do Gunther, because I don't think he'll main event. To be quite honest,
if you say
unless they have Gunther lose the belt before Mania, then we get a completely different matchup. But
if you bringing that up, Ty, now that I think about it, I don't want him fighting Cody. I don't want to see
him. Man, that sounds scary as hell.
But I also can see, and this is the irony in this, because it's Triple H is creative. I can see a world where Jay fights Gunther and loses, and we get a whole WrestleMania 19 rerun again with Booker and Triple H. And we all know Booker should have been the one that went over. I can see that being an idea. Because let's just say Gunther goes over. You know who's coming back soon? My guy, Dragunov. And it's only a matter of time before we get a Dragunov Gunther program on the main roster. Like, that's bound to happen at this point. Who's to say that doesn't happen? Unless you give Jay his moment, but then you do what you did with him with the IC belt, and he ended up losing it within a couple months. And then it's back to whatever. So there's a lot of angles that can go with this. So I'm not opposed to it. But Mike, to get back to the question, I guess you already answered who you have Charlotte going.
Yeah, I ever going against Tiffany because I don't want to see a rematch 2 years ago on this.
Real quick before we get to the last two matches, who you got Jay fighting in that Mania? If you had the
my guess is he's going to go for Gunther, but I don't know. With all the main event scenarios we just thrown out, it's sort of scaring me where we go from here. Like, I hope they have something good planned because I'm not looking real forward to seeing any of those matches, if you want me to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not opposed to it. And the only thing I fear with Jay too is I think could build him up great for a title run, but after you get the belt on him, what are you going to do with him? Like, they gave him a token title run with the IC title, but after he gets it, how long is he going to keep it?
And then and that's the thing, and I think that's why they pulled the plug on him, and everyone's like, yes, Gunther, because people don't feel the same about Gunther as they had him going into winning the belt since he had it. And that's largely due to creative not having the proper opponents for him. And that's my fear with Jay. You have Jay as a face, but you don't got a lot of heels that he can really sink his teeth into with a program. And I think they need to let Gunther off the leash, so to speak, as a heel. But let him be that rugged, aggressive, in your face, smash mouth heel. Him being that vivacious, oh, I'm better than you because I have the money or whatever heel. I'm not like sold on that. That wasn't who people drew and came to love when it comes to Gunther's character. It was, I'm a smash mouth, pure wrestler. I'm gonna go in the ring, I'm gonna beat your ass, and I'm moving forward with my day. That's what we came to love with him. And I think they need to get back to that. And I think to make that dominant, you need to solidify Ludwig. I think Ludwig needs to get that mid-card title and have Imperium really like that legit group. Who's to say you don't add Dragunov to the group?
They didn't help out Ludwig at all last night.
And yeah, that pissed me off too. But I don't know what they're doing. I don't. But we're gonna move on because we've been long-winded on the Rumble matches. Let's talk about the 2 out of 3 falls because it ain't gonna be too much to speak on this about once we get to the ladder match. As you know, DIY won the 2 out of 3 falls with the help of the Street Profits, coming into the aid, so to speak. The DIY, and they beat the Motor City Machine Guns. What do you guys' thoughts on that 2 out of 3 falls? Because I got a lot to say, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it.
The only thing I'm gonna say on it is I feel like time was cut and the turn at the angle that they played out at the end, probably the best angle of the night, and they ruined it within 5 seconds by having him hit DIY. You could have had a cliffhanger for SmackDown, Elimination Chamber, you just turn him from heel to back to face within 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Like, I don't know. Not a fan of it personally, but we'll see what comes of it.
Ty?
Yeah, this seemed like more a SmackDown match, main event, SmackDown angle. If you were going to cut the time at that point, I'd rather you just save it and not even put it on. But yeah, to Mike's point, I did not like them pretty Street Profits. Like, they had something right there, then they lost it. You know, that quick. And I'm just like, how can you do something good? How can you take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back? It just doesn't make sense, you know. But it was an okay match. But Yeah, it just seemed like it was rushed, and they was trying to hurry up, get to the ladder match.
Um, I'm really upset with how they booked this tag match. Considering the fact, right, the tag team divisions on both brands have been piss poor with booking. Nick Aldis comes in, Adam Pearce is on Raw. They're trying more. You see the progression with the tag division on SmackDown more, which if you know history about Nick Aldis, he was in the tag team, so it makes sense how he feels about tag teams. So I'm happy to see that, right? You finally get a tag team title at a PLE. This is the first PLE you have your tag champions on either brand defend the belt since WrestleMania 40. And you don't give them enough time to really sink their teeth into a match. Albeit the crowd didn't help either. Like I'm gonna be honest, the crowd was inconsistent all night. And that was only a 4-match card. So, but the fact that DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns couldn't get more time to give you a really good match, because I thought they could have gave you an NFC Takeover like match. And just for whatever reason, they just didn't get the time to do it. I'm not a fan of the match. Like I agree with Ty. If you was gonna do that, you was better off just having them do this match on the homegoing show on SmackDown. And just give the spot to another team of people worthy of the match. The ending, I like the ending a lot because I was, as we said in Mike yesterday's show, I wouldn't be mad if you have a 4-way match where you include the Street Profits. Now you're working on possibly doing a 3-way at this point. I will hope they do a 4-way where you add Pretty Deadly into the fold. But I agree. For what it's worth, I think they could have held off on the Street Profits attacking DIY to leave a cliffhanger. But I'm not mad at the fact that they did what they did. Like I wasn't here to help you. I didn't want to see them win. But I ain't forget about what y'all did to us either. So we're just putting y'all on notice too. We coming for y'all as well. I still think they can make this as a heel turn for the Street Profits, which I think they desperately need. Like they need something to be changed because there's no reason why they're not the best tag team in the company for the men. Like there's no reason for them not to. They're both great on the mic. They're both great in the ring. Montez is in phenomenal shape. Dawkins is in phenomenal shape considering what he was prior. They have all the tools and representatives to be the guys in the tag division. And for whatever reason, they're not pushing them. I think DIY and Machine Guns are kind of like that olive branch to kind of put them over at some point and have put in the younger talent. I think they're just, at this point, they're just there to kind of establish the tag division to make it respectable. But I agree with you guys. I just think it could have been a better match overall if given more time. Last but not least, the last thing we want to talk about for the show, the ladder match, Cody and Kevin Owens. This was one of the better matches of Cody's run. I think it's probably one of the best matches. Cody won in a banger ladder match, a nasty spot with Kevin at the end. You got to pay me a lot of money to take that type of bump that Kevin took at the end of that match. All in all, we'll love to hear you guys' thoughts on that match and what's next for both Cody and Kevin.
It was a good match. Honestly, KO always shows out at his Royal Rumble matches. But yeah, I think it kind of goes to, if you want to turn Cody heel last night, that's the most like evil thing he has done. You feel me? To Alabama slammer somebody on a ladder, that is crazy.
And then just stand over him at the end of the match. Like
stand over him while his homeboys just looking at him, looking at you.
He's called Sammy.
And you're taking your time to grab those belts too. So I don't know. I think it was this has to be the end. I don't think you can run the program longer after last night. I think that this should be the end, and that was a perfect ending to this story, honestly.
And he had some words for Sammy at the end of that when he was sitting on the announce table. I couldn't get what he was saying, but he definitely spoke to Sammy after that match. So I agree. Mike, what's your thoughts?
It's probably one of the best ladder matches we've seen in recent history, to be honest with you. But
overall, or like just singles?
Yeah, just singles for sure. Because I was gonna say if that TNA Bound for Glory, they did the Full Metal Mayhem match with Hardy Boys, System, and ABC. That was one hell of a ladder match, to be honest with you. If you go to the tag realm, but for singles, without a doubt, I think probably the hardest spot of the night was the fisherman suplex off the turnbuckles. Because when you looked, even though the Alabama slam onto the ladder, they had it scored perfectly, and his head went right in between the two rungs. So I think that was more or less, it looked worse than it actually was. I think that first spot was by far the most painful for either one of those guys. But great match overall. And I know you mentioned about turning Cody heel. Jesse Ventura there on Saturday Night's Main Event, not the past one, but the one before it, he's basically explaining that even though Cody's the face in the scenario where everyone's cheering for him, he's really playing the role of the heel because he's doing more of the heel stuff, but he's just so over and everyone's cheering for him. Really, Kevin's not doing nothing wrong. So even though the crowd has one reaction to him, they're really playing the opposite roles. So if honestly, they would need to have Cody do something really bad to turn him heel. And I don't think they're going to do that in the near future. I think they will eventually, but I think that'll probably be years down the road once he's like fully established. Like he's a made man already, don't get me wrong, but they want to make him even more to make him bulletproof with the fans. And I agree that this program with them's probably over. Maybe we got to see Randy come back at some point. He's got to face one of these two guys. I'm hoping it's Cody, and I guess it won't be because they'll do it more down the line, but we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see where they go from here because they didn't really give us many answers other than the two Royal Rumble winners last night.
And that's what I was trying to figure out what will be next for Cody. I wouldn't mind seeing Randy come back and face him, and then I think Kale's going to take some time off, and rightfully so. Who's to say that Randy comes back and that's the program that they run with him and Cody, and then boom, KO comes back to screw Randy, and then that's how you finish off the Randy and Cody's program to go right into Randy and Kevin. So that's one way they can do it. Something I really just thought about off the top just now. Who's to say they don't do a program with Sammy versus Cody?
Seeing the Elimination Chambers in Canada.
One.
I can see it.
Two, right? I told you, I just said a few moments ago, Cody had some words for Sammy when he was on that announce table after the match. And considering that they have this transfer window open right now for both brands, as you see Damian Priest just moved over to SmackDown, and it seems like he might be in a feud with Jacob Fatu in a recent future. Who's to say that Sammy doesn't transfer over to SmackDown and then that's your feud that go right before Mania, before you give Cody a bigger match, probably Randy. So that's something I'm thinking about too. My biggest takeaway from that match, they did what they was expected to do. I was expecting Cody and Kevin to have a banger, and that's exactly what they did. I'm happy. I hate it because we spoke about how refs getting into the match holding ladders just ruined the suspense of matches last night. But I'm glad the ref did last night because I was nervous Cody was about to fall off that ladder getting those belts. And I'm watching, I'm like, yo, he's struggling more and more to get those belts. Someone go in there and hold that ladder because he was at the damn top. And I'm like, that would have got nasty if he had that ladder gave up. So I'm glad the ref in that moment held on to that ladder. But I agree that fisherman spot was very, very nasty. Hopefully Kevin's okay with that Bama Slam. All in all, great match. Outside of the Rumbles, actually, I probably say that was the best match of the night. Out of the 4 matches, that ladder match was the best match. I expected them to steal the show. I was hoping the tag team was going to do that, but they obviously didn't. So I would say that ladder match was the best match. The best moment, obviously, was Jay winning the Rumble. But all in all, I think this was a great Rumble. And because we already did the trivia, where would you guys rank these Rumbles in the midst of these Rumbles that we ranked earlier? Is it a top 30 Rumble? The men's? I think it's top 10 and we've given the names that was involved. But the match itself, I could probably give it like a 25 to 30 range.
Let me put it this way: since we'll start at 2020 because we got different superstars and stuff. 2020 is going to be number one. I got 2023 number two for the overall PLE because of the chair shot heard around the world, as I said earlier. This is right behind it at number three. So based off where they had the other list and where these were ranked, my guess is they would rank it at high 20s to low 30s. That would be my guess based off where they had the other ones.
Spot. What about the women's? Where would you put the women's?
I think the women's was a great match, as I said earlier, up until we saw who won it. So I don't know. It's not high up there. It's probably close to the middle, slight down towards the bottom, to the bottom middle, something around there.
Fair enough. Ty, what would you rank these two Rumbles based on the list we just did today?
Yeah, I would say men's probably 30 to 25. I think the women's was more like low 30s, probably like 33, 32. I don't know. Depends if we're going on that list. Yeah, they're gonna have it pretty low. But yeah, I think they had chances of being great, but then there's just moments that really it's funny how both, towards the end it started to fall apart, but it started off strong. So
fair enough. It's just been confirmed that Jey Uso, well, allegedly it's been confirmed that Jey Uso and Charlotte will be on Raw tomorrow. And the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches will begin tomorrow as well. They have not announced who's in these qualifiers as of yet. This is all assumption, but just wanted to put that out there.
Cena's already technically qualified, which I don't like either.
I didn't like how match. I think he did I think it was a great promo, all in all. But I didn't think that he had to do that. But
yeah. Who do you guys got in the chamber matches?
I haven't thought about that yet. I think we're gonna save it for the next episode.
Sounds good.
We're gonna get into that because I want to see who's in the qualifiers and see what directions they're gonna go with this. I would assume for SmackDown though, they will definitely have Damian Priest, LA Knight, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Braun, probably Carmelo involved in the qualifier matches. If I had to assume, for Raw, it's a little tough. I don't really know who they got over there other than probably Dominic, Finn, Braun, Sheamus, like those are the guys. So that's those. If I had to think about off the top, those are probably some names I'll throw out there. But that's gonna wrap up today's show, man. If you was watching and made it this far, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the Rumble. What is your favorite Rumbles of all time? And again, we'll see you guys next week. Saturday again, give you guys our insight on the weekly shows for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, TNA. So you guys have a great restful Sunday. We'll see you guys next week, man. Peace.